working hard to solve that.
We all wish there was a political solution. But hang in there.
That hasn't happened.
Answer the question. I mean, we all wish there was a political solution. The problem is there's a war going on. There's a security problem.
Well, there's a war going on.
How do you stop ISIS from taking Baghdad?
Because there's 6,000 bombings taking place, and that's being used by ISIL to recruit worldwide and to build up their forces.
Saying you're blaming the coalition for the war, sir?
That was NDP defense critic Jack Harris accusing the coalition bombing for the war. Now, in the last few days, we've seen ISIS seize control of a strategic city, the strategic city of Ramadi, which is located just 60 miles west of Baghdad in the largest province in Iraq called the Anbar province. This is a significant development, a major setback. I've got Dr. Tony Costa with me to sort of break this all down. Let me start by asking you your initial reaction to Jack Harris's comments.
I think it was extremely naive and delusional, and it demonstrates an abysmal ignorance of the worldview of ISIS and also the Islamist worldview, which seeks to basically spread Islam. There is no rivals. It does not compromise. And so it is just beyond me why he would even make such a statement. It's absolutely naive.
How do you view the latest events with respect to ISIS seizing control of Ramadi? Do you view that as a setback? Is that a setback?
No, not necessarily. You have a group here that has a worldview that is a win-win situation. They believe that if they die in battle, they have reward in heaven or paradise. If they don't, they get war booty, and it's a war that in their minds they will eventually win. So,
but is that a setback for the coalition?
Not at all. Not at all. It's not a setback at all, because as long as you have people who are committed to the belief that they will win, that they will conquer, it's definitely not a setback.
How strategic is the city of Ramadi? Why do you think ISIS chose that city in particular to seize?
Well, it clearly has Baghdad in its sights. It's 60 miles west of Baghdad, and so Fallujah as well as another strategic city. And so the whole point is to take the capital. And this is going to lead to an extremely violent bloodbath, because now you're now going to have the Sunnis and the Shias now fighting each other. So what I would say is we're looking at some major carnage on its way if things are not resolved.
What do you make of sort of the victimhood narrative that various world leaders, namely Barack Obama, are making, which is, I didn't put us here. This is sort of the cards we were dealt. But of course, then there are others on the other side saying, well, hey, wait a minute, you pulled out in 2012. How did we get here, in your opinion?
I think that the pullout in 2012 was the stepping board for ISIS to come into the world scene. I think it was a major mistake on his part. The fact of the matter is this, Marissa, is that you're dealing with a worldview that is incompatible with democracy. It doesn't matter what the West does. Whenever you have an Islamic worldview that sees Sharia law as the law of the land, it doesn't matter what you do. That system will never, ever be compatible with democracy. And so while the intention for the West has been good to liberate the Middle East from various tyrannical rulers, they're not resolving the issue, because the problem here is Sharia law is at bottom line incompatible with our democratic values. So
how do you resolve the issue if not to completely defeat ISIS?
That's the only way we can do. What is the lesser of all the evils? The lesser of all the evils, I think, is we owe it to our fellow man to try to put an end to this carnage, the persecution of Christians and Jews and other faith minorities. Something has to be done. But my fear is that whatever we leave it with, it's always going to return to a Sharia-based government. So there's smoke, but wherever there's smoke, there's fire. We need to put out the fire in order to get rid of the smoke.
As a Middle East expert, we've seen this for many, many years. And obviously ISIS is just an offshoot of Al-Qaeda. How do we defeat it?
The one way to defeat it is, first of all, you have to defeat the caliphate, because the caliphate needs property. If you take that property back away from ISIS, it loses the claim of the caliphate crumbles. Because as I pointed out before, the caliphate needs jurisdiction in order to rule. So one of the things they have to do is they have to liberate those lands and eventually destroy the caliphate. But you see, the caliphate, Marissa, still remains an apocalyptic figure. And so no matter what happens, there will be a resurgence in due time of another group saying, let's bring back the caliphate.
All right, Dr. Costa, thank you for joining me.
As always, thank you.